SkaredCast and 40k Nation present another guest battle report. Pictures taken by Redeemer about the Hot Lead tournament that was held in Stratford, Ontario, Saturday 24th of March. This was a fun tournament that was put on by the Stratford Gaming Union, and my brother took his Space Marines down there and he sent me some pictures in order for me to post them up. So we'll start with his army. He's been developing this Space Marine army for quite some time now. 3 tactical squads, 1 in a Razorback, 2 in Rhinos, a full 10-man jump pack squad with a couple of flamers, a Whirlwind, a little Devastator squad with 4 rockets, 5 assault terminators with a librarian, and a land raider. Quite a nice army. So game 1, he played against Nate Stevens and his Grey Knights. Now, the first mission was quite interesting. It was a dividing line, and therefore there was pylons up the middle of the table which you couldn't move across or shoot across, and you had to put your objective in one side while your enemy would put their objective on the other side. You could destroy the pylons, as you can see their little bases along the side of the table there, and in order to move across you had to destroy the pylons in order to be able to move across. So here you can see the Grey Knights had been moving up, attempting to break through and get into my brother's other side in order to claim his objective, while my brother was attempting to stop him with everything he had available. I believe, I don't know what the secondary objective was in this mission, but Grey Knights, of course, quite powerful. You can see lots of rhinos, lots of bodies. In this picture you can see the Terminators with the Librarian assaulting the mechanized line, trying to stall their advance. My brother's powers for the Librarian, I believe, were Avenger and Null Zone. Both very useful powers. So busting up the line, the Grey Knights had to disembark and do the rest of the trip on foot. Nate is a fantastic player, and of course he's not going to let something like that happen lightly, and therefore he's of course going to retaliate. Here you can see some of my brother's Marines out of a wrecked, exploded Rhino taking up their positions. Now, my brother is a little unorthodox with his squads and loves taking things like plasma cannons and las cannons and just mixing things up, which a lot of people don't expect most of the time. And in this one, we can see that he's, protecting his objective still from the 2 rhinos. And of course, he was going to try and take the Nate's objective by sending his assault marines up to contest at least. And you can see here that Nate, who has a lovely painted Grey Knight army, they look fantastic, the ones that are actually painted. I believe they are testing this list in order to go to, or painting these models, sorry, to go to Adepticon. And yeah, so you can see here the last picture of this game in particular is a lone assault marine doing a headlong charge and trying to hold off the last Grey Knights, but sadly that didn't happen. So yeah, my brother walked away with a minor loss on this game against Nate, who's a fantastic general, so that's a great result for him. And he moved on to game 2 against Bob's Dragon Knights. Now, these are Bob's Dragon Knights. They're a fantastically painted Space Marine army that he's been working on for years. Lots of little conversions here and there, great scheme. It seems he was taking a quite unorthodox list with walking Terminators, maybe with a gating Librarian, some jump pack Marines, a couple of drop pods. You can see here Bob's dropping a drop pod in the middle of my brother's army, maybe to try and melter the Land Raider, get that out of the way. Of course, my brother wasn't going to let that go unpunished, and a drop pod in the middle of some Space Marine lines like that usually just means suicide. And yeah, so shortly after that everybody in there was dead, and the Redeemers, the Redemptors, which I believe is my brother's chapter, was taking taking names. The mission that they were playing in this game was Blood Bowl. Now, you basically put a football in the middle of the table, and you have to go up and grab it and run it all the way across to your opponent's table edge to score a touchdown. We usually run that as the secondary objective. For this tournament, the catch was that became the primary, and the unit with the football was endued with the rage special rule against the back of the board. So you had to basically grab the ball and then just run headlong into the enemy with little regard for your own safety. And so in this game you can see the Dragon Knights trying to hold off the Space Marines. I believe my brother's Assault Marines had taken the ball and had been moving up the field at this point. But of course, using the drop pods, Bob was able to stall the Assault Marines long enough, or the rest of the army long enough, for then the rest of the army to go and do some more damage at the cost of his drop podding units. So yeah, here you can see the Space Marines still combat squadding and trying to do damage to all the Space Marines down in the backfield, and consequently getting absolutely slaughtered by my brother's Space Marines, who held the line and continued their blinding rampage. And so in this next picture we can see that there were the Assault Marines, and these Assault Marines, they're coming right up. Yeah, there we go. That yellow Imperial Fist, I believe, was the football for the match. They're running up the table, raging up the table, facing off against that Vindicator, and taking enemy fire as well as charging the Vindicator in order to try and get that football all the way across to the edge of the table. Of course, Bob, as you can see on the right hand side of that picture, he had his own Assault Marines that were trying to cause some damage and stop the Marines from getting there. Now this little, as I was saying, he has lots of little conversions. This is a little conversion that he has. Nice basing, a little muzzle flash getting out of the drop pod. Just seemingly ready to be annihilated by some assault terminators, but that's a nice shot from the game itself. And in this last picture, we can see the terminators advancing, and consequently, my brother lost the ball, and Bob's assault marines took the ball, and then scored a touchdown for another win, a minor win, against my brother. And so that's a little recap. Third game was against Necrons, but sadly he wasn't able to get any pictures. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and come back for more. Bye.